Welcome back to KH 108.2. This is Bry coming at you while I drive. Today, I chose to talk about Rainbow Six Siege X. X because it's cool. Specifically, Rainbow Six Siege X, which I'm just going to call it Siege, sorry, has a new mode called Dual Front, which really surprised me for a couple of different reasons. Now, I want to be clear before we get too far into this. I'm not sponsored by Ubisoft yet. Ubisoft, if you want to hit me with some of that nice UB money, I will never say a bad thing about you again, unless I feel like it or it's a day that ends in a Y. Anyways, talking about the only game that's doing well in Ubisoft's portfolio, Dual Front is the new free-to-play offering for Rainbow Six Siege X, or just Siege as we call it now. And this is essentially a new mode to give us a new way to play Siege and give new players a different way to play that it allows them to be free to play, while the core mode still remains pretty much intact. There are some other graphical and audio updates that come along with Siege X as well. There's a couple other gameplay things. Not really something I'm talking about much in this video. I mostly want to talk about Dual Front because that's the big thing coming out of Siege X. I've been playing it on the test server. It will have already been released by the time this video goes out, but I don't think there's going to be too many differences between the test server version and the live server version, and if there are, guess what? I'll use my handy dandy title tool in DaVinci Resolve to correct that. Go future me. So Dual Front really surprised me, and there's a very mixed reception on it currently, just from the people who've played it in the test server, and I was also in that mixed boat. I would say that when I first played it, I probably had a mid to negative reaction to it. I felt very strongly that I just didn't get it. I didn't get what it was trying to do. I don't know if it got what it was trying to do, but after spending some time with it and reading around and kind of getting to grips with the ideas it puts forward, I think Dual Front is going to surprise all of us in a very positive way. Now again, there are some negative things, but we'll get there. So first thing is, let's just talk about really briefly what exactly is the Dual Front mode, which is a 6v6 rather than 5v5 in Core Siege. This is a 6v6 hybrid attack and defense mode, meaning that you are attacking and defending at the same time. You have a point you need to defend, the other team has a point that you need to attack. And you can choose from your 6 teammates how many people you want to defend and to attack. The other cool thing about this too is you get to choose from a single pool of operators. So there are attackers and defenders that could be used in ways they have never been used before. So I want you to think about something like Attack Vigil or Defense Nomad. And this mode also has respawns enabled as well. So just upon hearing all that, it may not make too much sense as to like what exactly it is. But I can tell you what it's not for sure. And I've seen people call it this, but it's not these things. It's not Call of Duty. It's not a team deathmatch mode just because it's got respawn. It's not trying to be Counter-Strike. It's not trying to be Overwatch. And it's definitely not trying to be Siege 2. This time, more money. What it is trying to be is a new way to play Siege. Now, I think that this is actually very important to have in Siege because the biggest complaint we'll hear about getting new players on board is that they don't know how to play the game. There's a lot to learn. It's a huge learning curve as far as games go. And so what this game mode is essentially micro Siege, which means that you're able to take these attacking and defending encounters very naturally. It's a very large map, and you can try out operators in all different kinds of scenarios. And what I think this serves to offer is new players can actually learn real fundamentals and strategies and skills in game rather than queuing into deathmatch and bashing their head into concrete for an hour. Deathmatch is barely helpful for your aim. It's much less helpful with your game sense, and this is the main point of Dual Front is they want to give us a newer way to play Siege that will allow new players and returning players, especially since it's free to play, the ability to actually get a taste of what Siege offers. What is it like to attack? What is it like to defend? You can practice Siege in a live environment, and you get that respawn cushion, which is very nice. So you don't have as much pressure on you for holding a point correctly or having a clutch because you do get that cushion. If you feel like you're struggling with this idea or you're struggling with wanting to attack or defend and you want more action, there's also assignments. So essentially in the larger portions of the map, there are random micro objectives that you can go after instead, and you can fight with the enemy team over that and they'll give you a big swing in points. So newer players, returning players, players who want fast and consistent experience playing the game of Siege get a lot out of this, and it's at the very worst for established players a good warm-up mode, and at the very best it's a way for people to enjoy and play Siege in a more comfortable manner so they could actually learn and be better teammates. And hey, if they like it, they'll stick around, which is what you want. You want a higher player count. It's not everything, but it's nice when it's large. In my opinion, I think this game mode stays unique and very true as to what the staying power of Siege actually is, which isn't its shooting mechanics. It's not that it's got 100 operators. It's that the operators are really fun to play. It's that defending and attacking is different every single time. It's that you have to build strategies and get really creative with the different levels on offer and the different ways to destroy the environment and move things around. Now, make no mistake, while I think it's mostly good, there are some downsides to the mode, some things that I think feel kind of bad. I think the 30-second respawn timer is still just a little too much. Now, there are arguments to mitigate this. For one, when you do die, you are given the option to drone off of an enemy teammate. So if you've got other teammates attacking, drone on them, please. If you're a new Siege player or returning Siege player and you're looking to check out Dual Front, the best tip anyone will give you is use your drones. You can't hear it, I just hit my steering wheel. Use your drones, please. And especially when you're given free drones like that in the moment, once again, you're learning how to drone correctly, how to use your drones. You're learning why they matter, you're learning how to ping, and it mitigates that 30-second respawn timer. Now, again, I do feel like it's just a little too long, maybe 25, maybe 20 if we're going cray-cray. But for the most part, I think that that's going to be kind of a detraction point for a lot of people. It does feel a little like you're waiting around. The map is really big. The map is really big, and sometimes that's a problem. Sometimes it's a little too intricate because spawn peaks are very, very easy to make. That said, again, a counterpoint might just be that you need to be aware of your surroundings, and you need to be aware that you can't just bum rush an objective, because people do spawn peek in this game. People do actually poke their heads out and spawn peek, so it makes sense that they're going to spawn peek in the larger part of the map. So, again, there's a fight there. And the assignments are kind of sporadic. And what I mean by that is they're a little out of the way, and they do detract from attacking and defending. That might be the point. I don't have a solution for that. Just something I could see frustrating somebody. What it does not do, though, what this game mode does not do, is detract from core Siege. I don't see it likely that that's happening, because anybody that wasn't already chasing the high that core Siege provides isn't going to change their mind. I think Dual Front is going to, for the most part, be an onboarding process, but I think a lot of people who are going to stick around, if they don't go to core Siege, they'll probably just stick to Dual Front. I think it's obviously meant to be a more casual experience that actually offers something for people who want an easier time. You can think of it like Magic the Gathering, which has multiple formats that people all enjoy. Some people only play draft format, some people only play Commander, some insane people only play Modern. That's me, I'm insane people. And some people play all of it or swap around when they get tired of a format. This is that. Dual Front is just another format in terms of playing Rainbow Six Siege. So some people will only play Dual Front, some people will only play Core, some people will play all of it. Now, can it stick around? I think so. Now, whether it can stick around and what it needs to be able to stick around, those are two different things. So let's talk about what it needs. I think it's going to need a rotating operator pool, because I am kind of already over the one that we've got for the test server. I think this is cool, though, too, because this means that we could actually experiment with different operator configurations than we've ever had, and that we can keep things interesting. And there's probably some that should stay consistent. So your Docs, your Rooks, your Ashe, your Cabana, like those should probably all stay. And there are some operators that probably shouldn't ever enter the pool. So I think an attacker maybe like I don't know if maybe Ace is too strong. We already have Thermite in the mode, so maybe that doesn't matter. Or maybe Fenrir doesn't ever need to come in, you know? Maybe that's consistent as well. But I do think that weapons, ops, and that balance that they have need to be consistent across both modes so that Siege is still Siege. I don't think it's a very good idea to have a very buffed or nerfed operator in Dual Front and somebody picks it up and gets really good at it. Say they get really good at a buffed Flores or Sens. I don't know. I'm just thinking of operators I never see get picked. And then they come over to Core Siege and say, I'm a Sens main, and then get screamed at because they're a Sens main, because Sens in Core Siege can't operate the same way that he might in Dual Front, or maybe even if there's Dual Front specific operators. I don't know if that would work. Could be cool, but overall, you want the onboarding ramp to stay consistent for people who do want to move on to Core Siege. I think Dual Front is a net positive, especially because this is the free-to-play entry point, and it's a pretty good one. There are times where the game still gets sacky. There are times where your teammates just are not helpful, where they do stupid things, where they all sandwich on defense, so you've got 5 defenders and 1 attacker, or 4 defenders and 2 attackers, and that gets frustrating. But that's going to happen in any multiplayer game. There's just not a way around that, sorry to say. But I do look forward to seeing how Ubisoft plans to update and maintain this mode over the years. I hope they do that. I hope they don't abandon it. I hope they don't leave it to dry, because I would imagine if they've spent development time on this, they would like to see it thrive and to bring in those new players. And I think it's going to be great to give these new players an idea of what the heck is going on in Siege, because this is a very complicated game. If you've played it by now, because Siege X is now live at the time of posting this, if you've played it, give me your thoughts on Dual Front down in the comments below. Thanks for watching/listening. Goodbye.